Whenever we have a turbo diesel model in our long-term fleet, it's usually in the shape of an SUV or a mid-size sedan. It's very rare that we have a turbo diesel in a small hatchback like this, the Ford Fiesta. So when Ford South Africa offered us this 1.5 TDCI for 6 months, we were more than happy to take it. And driving it for the past 6 months has been our digital editor, Ryan Bubear. Ryan, so we have a 1.5 turbo diesel in a small hatchback here. What can you tell us about this?
Well, it's only one of two diesel hatchbacks in the segment, the other being the Mazda 2 Hazumi. But unlike that Mazda 2, this has got a manual transmission. The 1.5 TDCI makes 63 kilowatts and 175 Newton meters, which are fairly modest outputs, but I mean, it's all about economy with this car.
Okay, well, let's jump inside and take it for a drive.
Cool.
So with this being the new entry level for the Fiesta, how has it been in terms of trim and equipment?
Yeah, I think it covers most bases. With the Trend, you get this 6.5-inch touchscreen, which I mean, it's great. It's got everything you need, easy to use. It's Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It can even sort of mirror the Waze app, traffic app. The one quirk that became a bit of a mild annoyance on a daily basis is every time my phone would connect via Bluetooth, then the system would hike the ringer volume to maximum.
Okay.
So the next time your phone rings or your alarm goes off early in the morning, then it's pretty loud.
People are going deaf. Any other niggles that you've had with trim levels?
No, everything else has been fine. I think, this plastic cowling up here sort of worked itself loose a little bit over the 6 months. The steering wheel, it would be nice to have leather here rather than this polyurethane. And maybe the trip computer's a bit low rent for the rest of the interior. But overall, I think like trim quality is really good. It's a big change from the previous generation Fiesta in that all there's a lot fewer buttons here.
Okay. Right, so this is a hatchback with a turbo diesel engine and a manual transmission. So what has that been like to use on a daily basis in traffic or just in general?
Yeah, I think generally it's always going to be a little bit more work with a manual in traffic. But this gearbox I think is kind of what unlocks this powertrain's efficiency. It's kind of weirdly or unusually spaced, the ratios.
Okay.
So you do have to sort of flit up and down between gears at lower speeds, and the top two ratios are particularly long. So you pretty much only use them on the highway.
So the big question obviously is the whole point of getting a turbo diesel hatchback is to save fuel and lower your fuel costs. And has it been effective in this car?
Yeah, very much so. The Ford's claimed figure is like really, really low. They claim 3.3 liters per 100, which based on that claim would make it the most fuel efficient, conventionally powered vehicle in the country. Eventually, after 6 months and just over 7,500 Ks, I ended up on a figure of 4.71. So it's tied as the most fuel efficient long term we've ever had.
That's impressive.
And you can pretty much, it's very, very, very possible to get 900 Ks out of one 42 liter tank, which
makes a big
impressive,
difference. Yeah. So with you having a family with one kid, has it been a practical car to use on a daily basis, or do you find the space is just a bit confined for a small family?
No, I think like you say, we are a small family, and my daughter's only 4, but her child seat fits back there pretty easily, ISOFIX standard. You certainly get a little bit more room, rear leg room in a Polo, for example. But this is perfectly fine for a smaller family, and the boot's not bad either.
So you mentioned earlier that this is one of 2 turbo diesel hatchbacks in the segment, the other being the Mazda 2. But as a product in general, do you think it's better value than getting a petrol derivative?
Yeah, I guess it all depends on how much you make up at the pumps. Because if you look at pricing, this is, I think it's 5,900 Rand cheaper than the equivalent, well not the equivalent, than the 1 litre EcoBoost titanium model. And in that, I mean, you get a different powertrain obviously, and you won't be quite as efficient as you are in this diesel. But you do get a lot more kit, so you get a larger touchscreen, you get bigger alloys, you get heated seats, I think, leather-clad steering wheel. So the titanium spec adds a lot, but you can't have it with this powertrain.
So Ryan, a pretty straightforward product that we have here. Basically, anyone who's watching this video, to wrap it all up, if they think about buying this car, what should they take away from your experience with it, and what exactly do they need to know about this car? Okay,
I think it's worth pointing out that with this particular powertrain, you really have to sort of alter your driving style to suit it. To maximize efficiency, you have to drive in a certain way. If you're going to drive this car like a normal car, you're not going to get the sort of consumption you're looking for. And I think that means ultimately it appeals to the type of person who would sort of revel in the opportunity to wring every last kilometer out of your monthly fuel spend. And at this end of the market, there's nothing better than the Fiesta 1.5 TDCI for that.